In this presentation, we're going to teach you how to get the most leads and sales from your digital business card. This will be a complete walkthrough training, and I promise we will respect your time. Now, here's exactly what you can expect from this short training session. The first thing is we're going to talk about the headshot that you need to have for your business card and why the right headshot is key. We're also going to get into detail with the branding and the colors that you use on your business card. We're going to talk about how you need to emphasize what's called the CTA. The CTA is short for call to action. Then we're going to talk about why less is more when it comes to your digital card. Then we're going to do a whole entire live walkthrough where I'm going to actually set up the card with you. And then finally, we're going to talk about some of the additional features that you can turn on. And this is where the real power is turned on. And when you're done with this short training, you will be all set up with your digital business card. So let's dive right in. The first thing is the right headshot is key. And this is your first impression, and it's very important. And so if I look at this picture here, this is a bad headshot. She is not looking towards the camera. We're distracted with the plate that she has in her hand. And we've seen clients do this where they have a guitar in their hand or they'll have a clipboard or something like that. Instead, what you want to have is you want to have a straight on headshot where you are clearly looking at the camera and you are dressed to kill. This is your first impression. And so you want to make sure that you're smiling. You want to make sure that you're wearing colors that instill trust. You want to make sure that this is memorable. And you only have to do this once. You only have to have that $1 million shot that you're not only able to use for your business card, but you're able to use it for all of your branding and all of your marketing. So take a real quick look at this. The good headshot versus the bad headshot. And there are branding strategists that'll tell you that this is a power shot looking away from the camera. And I'm here to tell you that you want to look directly into the eyes of your prospect. They can tell a lot looking at their eyes. So please take the time to go out there and get that $1 million headshot. What I recommend that you find a photographer in the area. And what you can do is you can open up Google and you can do a search for female power shots or male power shots. And you'll find images that you resonate with. And what you want to do is you want to take somebody with you when you do that photo shoot so that they can position your hands, so that they can help with your jewelry or put your watch or your French cuffs in place. All those little details make sense when you want to get this $1 million power shot. Next, I'm going to tell you about a little bit of magic that you can do to make your headshot memorable. So if we take this same power shot here, this is before the magic. And what we want to do is we don't want to have a white background there. We don't want to have a black background. Instead, we want to be able to do something like this. Now, obviously, this young lady was not in front of a window. She was not in front of a bridge when this shot was taken. So how do we do this? Well, what you're able to do is you're actually able to remove that background and then you're able to replace it with an image. Now, the good news is this is not something that you need to do. You don't need to learn about graphics or visual editing or anything else. Instead, you let the experts do the job and you focus on your business. And so I'm going to give you 2 resources that you can use right now to create these beautiful custom headshots for less than the cost of a latte. The first one is there's a website called Unsplash.com. And what you want to do is you want to go through Unsplash and find the background image of your choice. And so you can find the blurry city backgrounds. You can have a background with an office or with flowers or mountains or rivers or whatever it is you choose. And the best part is these backgrounds are very high-res backgrounds. They're huge. You could make a billboard out of them and they're free. You're not going to have to pay a single dime. Now, once you have found your background, you're going to want to go over to a site called Fiverr. And so you're going to send your headshot that you had done as well as your background, and they're going to charge you anywhere from $5 to $10 on Fiverr, and they're going to replace your white background or your green or black background with the background that you chose. Now, for some reason, if you don't know what background you want to use, then simply communicate with your editor on Fiverr and tell them, look, here is what I do in my business. I work in an office, or I'm a real estate agent, or I'm a travel agent, whatever the case may be, and let them choose the background for you because they are the experts. So you want to write down those two resources. Number one, unsplash.com, where you can find your backgrounds, and number two, Fiverr is where you're going to find a graphic artist that is going to knock out your background and replace it with the background of your choice, or let them choose the background for you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the branding that we use with our colors. Now there's a very simple rule to this, and that is that any more than two colors becomes chaos. It becomes busy and it's unprofessional. And so if we look at this mock-up here, you can see that it pops, and there are two primary colors. The first one is black, and the second one is red. Now, when you're creating your icons and your buttons, you want to make sure that you use the exact color code that you have in your mock-up, that you have in your PowerShot. So if you're wearing a blue suit, you want to use that exact blue. This mock-up here, she's wearing red. We want to use the exact red. And I'll show you where we've done that once I place the icons on the screen. So I'm going to recommend a tool to you that you want to download. It's called an eyedropper tool. And with the eyedropper tool, I am able to get the exact color code that is used in this red. And so that when I put my buttons on the screen or I put my icons on the screen, I am using the exact color red. And so I'll take my eyedropper, I'll place it right there on that red, and it's going to give me the exact color code. And I can use that color code throughout my whole entire branding and all of my marketing. And so if you're a Windows user, the eyedropper that I recommend is called Instant Eyedropper. And so you can go to instant-eyedropper.com. If you're an Apple user, then there's an alternative, and it's called Just Color Picker. So you can go to justcolorpicker.com. And so again, these tools are free, and they're going to give you the exact color code you need so that you look like $1,000,000. Now let's talk about your CTA, also known as your call to action. You definitely need to know what your call to action is. Now, if I was to define the CTA or the call to action, I would simply say, what is your goal for anybody that's looking at your business card? Also known as your call to action. And so let's look at some basic calls to action. The first thing is they can obviously call you. And so if you look at the mock-up here on the screen, we have a button that says, call me. They can text me, they can email me, they can visit my site, or they can visit any of my social media properties. I'll show you those icons here in just a minute. So they could visit LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or Instagram. Now, we can get a little bit advanced with our calls to actions as well, and this is where you really start to profit in your business, and that is where they can download your V card. And this is where they're able to add your contact information into their phone directory instantly. They can also make an appointment with you. So, yes, there can be a button on the screen that says, make appointment. They can take a survey, they can fill out an application, and so much more with our advanced calls to actions. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But the main takeaway here is that you not only understand what your calls to action needs to be, but you also find a way to make them pop. So in our mock-up here, she is wearing red, and therefore I have black buttons that are popping off her suit. Had I chose a red button, it would have blended in with her suit, and then most people would not have seen it, and it certainly would not have been an emphasized call to action. Now, it's also important for you to understand that there are a lot of features that you can turn on with your card, but you don't need to turn on everything. As a matter of fact, now that you understand what your core call to action is, you also need to understand that less is more. So let's take a look at the options available. The first thing is you can turn on or off your name and title. You can turn on or off your page icons, your small icons, and your buttons below. Now, I'm going to show you what all of these mean, but just understand that you really don't want to have all of these things turned on at once because your card is going to look busy. It's going to confuse your main call to action. Your prospect is not going to know what to do because remember, we have a simple goal, and that is to get them to call us, get them to email us, get them to visit our site. Whatever the case may be, we have to focus on that goal. So don't confuse the prospect. Remember the goal. Remember the call to action, because a confused mind doesn't take action at all. Instead, it's going to leave without doing a thing. So let's take a look at the options available for your card. Now, the mock-up that I have here is very simple, basic, yet powerful. So we have our $1 million power shot, and then you see that we have the buttons, which are the calls to actions right there on the power shot. And this, even though it's very simple, very powerful, is what most people prefer to have when they set up their card. But now let's go ahead and add the name and title. And so now you can see we have her name, which is Melissa Davis, her title, which is social media expert. We still have our calls to actions there, which are buttons. So now we have the name and title combined with the buttons. And this is the second choice that most people prefer to have. It is very powerful as well. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to add small icons to the card. So if you look here at the bottom, you'll see that there's a row that has 6 icons. And so I am able to deploy 6 icons to this row. And so as you can see, I can deploy all of my social media properties. I could put my phone there for them to call me, text me, or I can have them visit my website. So this bar here can be displayed on the top or the bottom of the card. It's completely up to you. Now we're going to add what are called page icons to the card. So if you look here, these icons are actually on the power shot itself, and you decide which of these icons you want to display there. And again, you can display 6 page icons on your card. Now these page icons can be displayed on the left or the right side, and you can display 3 icons on each side. Now you're starting to notice that our card is getting busy. And this may be the reason why you do not want to deploy everything all at once. Now we've made this process super easy. Matter of fact, these icons and buttons are turned on and off with the flip of a switch. Now I'm going to show you this here in a minute, but if you look at the screenshot, we have this box that says layout settings. And so if I want to turn on or off my name and title bar, I just flip a switch. If I want to turn off my small icons, I just flip a switch. And if I want to turn off my page icons, you guessed it, I just flipped a switch. Simple little steps for you to be able to manage and modify your business card on the fly. So you're simply going to load your image, you're going to input your name and title, you're going to fill out your links such as your social media links, your phone number, your number where they can text you, your website, and then you're going to flip switches on or off so that you can change your card on the fly. And you're able to adjust things very quickly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through a live demo, and I'm actually going to set up this business card with you. Now you should have received access details so that you could log into admin and do this demo with me. And if you didn't, you need to check your email again because they should be waiting for you inside your email. Okay, so you see that I'm over here on the login page. I've gone ahead and entered my username that I was assigned and the password. Now you should have received those access credentials inside your email as well as the URL where you're going to be logging into. Your login page may look a little bit different depending on what we have going on. So I'm going to go ahead and click the login button. And now you see I'm over here on the portal where I can go ahead and set up my business card. And this here is the sample business card that we have being displayed right now. That is our end goal. We want our business card to look like $1 million. So the first thing we're going to do is come over here and go ahead and click on this first box that says personal information. So go ahead and click it. And all we need to do is go ahead and enter our name. And we're going to go ahead and enter our title. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead and choose the font color for our name and the font color for our title, and then we're going to go ahead and set a background color. This background color is right here. Next, we're going to come over here, we're going to upload a profile picture. Now, this is the recommended size for the profile picture, but we also have a tool that's going to crop your picture. So if it's too big, it's okay. If it's smaller, then it's okay. You can blow it up, but you don't want to be too small because then your pixel's going to look really pixelated. And remember, we want you looking like $1,000,000. So I'm going to come over here and click on this button. And then I'm going to go ahead and click the upload button. Now that I've done that, I'm inside of my folder. I'm going to go ahead and search for my picture. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this picture right here. I'm going to say open, and now it has placed the picture inside the cropper. And so at this point, I can go left to right, so I can zoom in, I can zoom out. That's about where I want it. And also if the picture is really large in size, I can go up or down or left or right as well. So I'm going to go ahead and call it there, and I'm going to say add image. Now that I've done that, the picture has been set. And if I want to replace the picture, I can come over here and click this trash can, and then I can go ahead and upload a new profile picture. But for right now, I'm done, so I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, and now I'm going to go ahead and click on this plus here. Now, depending on what level you have, you may or may not see these two drop downs here. This is a pro feature. This allows me to go ahead and pull in one of my applications or my surveys to my digital business card. And then this right here allows me to pull in my appointment that is also tied to my business card. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and leave those blank, and I'm going to go ahead and put in my email address. I'm going to go ahead and put in my website. I'm going to go ahead and put in my Facebook. I'll put in my LinkedIn. I'll put in my Instagram. I'll put in my YouTube. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my phone number where I can receive calls. And I have the same number for my text. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and click this button that says Create My Card. And now you see that I have a link here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up an app that allows me to display my phone on the screen. At the same time, I'm able to keep modifying things here in the admin so that you can see the changes happen in real time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this other screen over, and this is what is being projected from my phone in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make changes, and then we're going to see how it's reflected on the phone. So as you can see, there is no buttons, no icons, there isn't even a title. So I'm going to drag this back over here to the other screen, and we're going to go ahead and dive right in. So the first thing is we're going to decide which page icons do we want to turn on. For me, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the phone number and the text message. We're going to go ahead and minimize this. And now we're going to decide which small icons do we want to turn on, if we do want to turn them on at all. Remember, less is more. But for the sake of this example, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the email address, the phone number, the text, the website. Now, show appointment and show survey, you definitely want to have these features turned on, but these are advanced features. This is part of our pro package. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and do Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm able to do 6 small icons. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. And now we have button number 1 and button number 2. And so for button number 1, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and have my phone number. So I'm going to choose phone number, and then I'm going to say, call me. And then I can come over here to button number 2, and I can go ahead and say, visit my site. And then I can go ahead and choose the color of my background. Now, black is actually pretty good because remember, she is wearing a red coat. Now, as soon as I click on Create My Card, the only thing that's going to happen is the 2 buttons are going to appear. And the reason why is because even though I have decided which page icons I want to have and which small icons I want to have, nothing is going to appear until I tell them to inside the layout settings. So I'm going to go ahead and click this button. And we're going to drag the card over. Here's what we currently have. I'm going to come back over here to my phone, and I'm going to go ahead and click it again. It's going to refresh. And now you see that we have the 2 buttons. So the buttons are automatically turned on, and now I can go ahead and have somebody call me, or they can visit my website. But again, remember, you definitely want to have it where they can make an appointment with you, or they could go ahead and fill out one of your surveys or applications. That is a pro feature. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drag that back over to the other side of the screen. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come down to our layout settings. And we're going to go ahead and turn on our title bar. So I'm going to click on. You see the little switch turns to on. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And now we're going to come back over here to our phone and we should see our name and title. And this is what I mean by you are simply going to flip a switch and things are going to appear and disappear, giving you total flexibility where you can change things on the fly. So now let's come over here. Let's open up our layout settings again and let's go ahead and turn our small icons on. I'm going to flip them on. Click the button, drag this back over here, come back over here to our phone, and we'll go ahead and click the go button. And now you see that we have icons appearing here at the bottom. And if I take out my eyedropper tool, this is a tool I taught you how to use. If you come over here, if I get this code here, this code is going to match this code. And so now you're starting to see how this looks extremely professional. Let's drag this back over here to the screen. We'll go ahead and open up our layout settings, and now we're going to go ahead and turn our page icons on, and they're going to start with the left side. So we'll come over here, we'll go ahead and click this button, drag this back over to the screen, and we'll go ahead and click this again. And now you see that I have page icons on, I have the buttons on, and I have the small icons at the bottom, as well as the name and title. Very, very busy. Remember, less is more. So I'm going to drag this back over here, come over to my layout settings. I do not want my name and title. I do not want the small icons. I do not want the page icons. I want a picture with 2 buttons on it. We come back over here and we go ahead and refresh this. And now you're going to see how you really are going to flip switches on and off, and you have total control over what is going to appear on your card. And you're able to come over here and very quickly turn on and off your page icons, turn on and off your small icons, and you can change out your buttons. Everything happens right here on the fly. Now what I want to do is show you the beautiful and responsive surveys that I was talking about in that demo. And so here is screenshots from actual real life surveys that we have working for us. And so you can see the view here on the left is what the survey looks like on a laptop or a desktop. It's beautiful. And over here on the right side, you can see this is what the view is from a mobile device. And it's going to work for Android or it's going to work for Apple. And so the survey is what you're going to use to determine how you should market your prospects. You're also going to find out what they think of your products or services, what they think of your restaurant, what they think of your coffee. There are so many purposes for why you would want to have a survey, but a survey could also lead into a sale as well. Next, we have something called an application. Now, an application is a little bit more different than a survey. An application means business, and usually when somebody fills out an application, they're going to enroll in one of your products or your services, which means they're filling out the application and they know that they are going to pay you. And so over here on the left, you can see this is what the application looks like on a laptop or desktop. And over here on the right, this is what the application looks like on a mobile device. Again, Android or Apple. And the last thing that I want to show you is what your appointment scheduling will look like. So over here on the left side, this is what your appointment schedule will look like on a laptop or a desktop. And so your prospect opens up your appointments, they see the available slots that you have available, and then they go ahead and lock in a date or time, and you get notified and they get notified of the date and time, and then you will simply have that appointment with them at that specific time. Over here on the right side, you can see this is what your appointment scheduler will look like from a mobile device. And you guessed it, Apple as well as Android. So now that your business card is set up, you have the opportunity to unleash the real power. And all you need to do is click the link inside of your admin account. And we have different specials and promotions going on all the time. And so what you'll be able to do, your prospects will now be able to download your vCard right from your digital business card. They'll be able to make an appointment from your business card with your own appointment scheduling system. They'll be able to take a survey from your business card. They'll be able to fill out an application and so much more. This is the real power that we have with our digital business cards. Now, once you get set up with that, you have to understand that you're at the start of something great. You see, we are an all-inclusive marketing system. And so with our system, you're able to build internal lead generation pages, such as landing pages, where the goal is to get the name, email, and phone number, applications, surveys, appointments, and so much more. And before I let you go, I want to remind you that you also have an app that came with your digital business card. And so with this app, you're able to send out your digital business card. So when you meet somebody, you simply grab their name and their phone number, and it will automatically send a message telling them to download your card. But the best part is it also keeps track of everybody that you sent a card to, so that you don't lose track where you met somebody. The app will keep track for you. But there's so many more features that we can turn on inside that app. You see, this app allows you to stay on top of everything happening with your leads. So you're able to call, text, and email. You're able to have hot lead notifications. You have a complete user database. You have what are called mobile sales pipelines, personal appointments. You have a list of daily tasks. You're able to send out your digital business card, and so much more. Now, this here is another one of our pro features. But right now, I want you to start playing with your app so that you can send your digital business card to the people you need. So on that note, this is where I'm going to conclude this presentation. But now you know how to go out there and get that $1 million power shot. You know about the colors and the branding that you need to set up with your card. You know how to set up your actual card and flip the switches. You now know that you have the ability to deploy surveys, applications, and appointments with our pro system. And there are so many other features available once you're set up, ready to rock and roll. So I encourage you to reach out to us with the number here on the screen, because we're ready to handle all of your marketing needs when it comes to systems, automations, processes, and advertising. But we're also here to make sure that you get set up with your digital business card. So if you have any questions at all during this presentation, please reach out to the number here on the screen. And on that note, go get set up with your business card, and we look forward to hearing from you real soon. Take care.